Why does a fighter go into a match knowing that the guy has a great right hand and then continue to get hit over and over with the specialty punch we call the Sunday punch, the big right hand? Who's to blame when a fighter continually gets cracked in the face, not once, not twice, not 10 times, but 30, not 40? Who's to blame? Is it the chief's second? This is the person that takes him into a training camp. And during this training camp, we put you through drills to prevent you from getting hit with big right hands. But what continues to happen in the fight over and over again? Makhmudov versus Vianella are two guys that went head to head over the Derevyanchenko fight on Saturday night. Now, this is something that happens all the time in boxing. We saw it with Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney, throughout the entire press conference, said all he had was the big left hook. And guess what he got hit with all night? The big left hook. So what we're going to discuss is, why does this continue to happen in the sport of boxing when you know what's coming and you still cannot prevent it? Well, here's the first round. As you can see, as they went out, these two fighters had literally fought years ago back in the World Series of Boxing, which is the series that was designed to transition pro athletes or amateur athletes into the pros. My mentor was actually one of the first coaches to ever be chosen to be a part of this series. So when this series was created, you're going to have guys who fought, and Lomachenko was one of the guys who actually took part in this. And it was a great preparation for professional boxing, so these guys could get used to getting hit without headgear on. And when you're transitioning, there has to be this period of time that helps you develop. But right here on this screen, over and over again, this guy continued to get hit with right uppercuts. Look at this. And then big right hands. Lo and behold, the trainers not only allowed him to continue to get hit, but when his eye had shut, literally from the front of his face all the way to the perimeter of his ear, that's when it's time to say, okay, I think we can go pack the bag up and redo this again. But what happens? The ego of the trainer, who continually wants to not swallow his pride and say, we got to pack this one up. We'll go ahead and take this L, but we'll be able to fight another day. When a fighter gets put in this type of a situation, he can't say he's going to be capable of fighting another day, because the fighter is put in a position where the doctor has seen him multiple times during the fight. His trainer had the opportunity to say, okay, let's pack it up, but he didn't. He chose to continue to let this guy take a pounding from someone who's built up vitriol inside for him, because he's been knocked out by this guy, but has grown up, built up his size and stature, and now he's a full-grown man who's been holding this in for years, a decade to be exact, and now he's able to get the payback. You think this guy's going to let him off the hook? No. But if you are a trainer and you continue to believe in just your own skill, you don't have God in your life, because it's obvious to everyone else that this fight should have been stopped. Look at the pounding. The guy could not see, literally out of his eye. And I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of egos being the reason for people's careers ending. But that's what this was. And so when you see this, you see the ability of defense goes out the window. When you have no defense, you have no answer for his offense. You have no answer to deliver to prevent him from throwing the right hand. This is where the skills come into play. And see, sometimes you can beat a guy and you can dominate him and even knock him out when you're at a certain particular level. But that's the funny thing about boxing, see. You see, over the course of time, if you have not mastered a skill yet, and someone has more experience than you, then it's easy for you to go and beat them up. But once you acquire the skill set required to beat guys like Cotto did coming out of the amateurs, if you fought Cotto and beat him in the amateurs, if you got to meet him in the pros, it was not going to be the same story. You may have beat him on points, but when you fight him in the pros, you're not only going to lose, but you're going to lose by knockout. And that's the funny thing about boxing, see? When a guy mastered the art of the periodic table of boxing, when I say that, some of you may be confused that the periodic table is the actual chart that's placed inside of the ring that teaches you the manifestation of ring generalship. Not only not where to be in the ring at particular times, but how to set traps for your opponent. What position in the ring to master the art of the footwork. And that footwork really is the periodic table of boxing. Ring generalship, we have it right in our footwork guide. That is what people aren't prepared for, because not every coach has excuse my French, not every coach has access to the periodic table, because you have to be in a downline, a minimal of 3 generations before somebody hands that over. That knowledge is priceless, and that knowledge is timeless, and that knowledge is not available all over the internet. Trust what I'm saying. When you get it, you'll have earned it. Because when I was under that tutelage, I didn't get my hands into that position until I had put in over nearly 15 years. But 15 years in the right tutelage. But these young men don't have the ability or the opportunity to say, I know I get the opportunity to learn that. But this other kid, he had mastered that ring. He set everything up. And if you aren't in a position where you don't know how to set traps, and you don't know how to fight off your front foot, and understand how to create an angle and when to create an angle, well, that's the kind of shit that will happen to you every single time, every single day, the exact same way if you're fighting against somebody who understands the periodic table of boxing. You know, so that's what's so beautiful about boxing. It doesn't matter who it is, what size they are. If you understand the table and they don't, they lose. That's why Mayweather understood how to do it. 3 generations of teachers under the tutelage of Oscar De La Hoya was on the record just saying it.
What makes Floyd so unique? Because he fought, you fought Pacquiao, he fought you, he fought Gotti, he fought Corrales, he fought Ricky Hatton. He fought so many, and all these guys, a lot of these guys had titles at the time or were former world champions like yourself. What makes him so unique?
His pedigree. Look, I'm good friends with his father. The best trainer I've ever had.
Wow.
By far. He is, well, except for the professor who trained me for the Chavez fight when I beat Chavez in 1996. But Floyd Sr. is the best trainer I've ever had. He's a teacher. And that's what Floyd Jr. grew up with. He grew up with a teacher who disciplined him to be the very, very best. And I love his patience. I love the fact that he's a hard hitter and he has a chin. See, people discredit him for not having a chin. He has a chin and he has a big heart. So I think that what makes him unique is obviously his boxing ability, but his ring generalship is what does it for me. He knows how to pick his spots. He knows how to get you tired without even throwing punches. It's crazy.
It's all about the professors, man. It's all about the professors of boxing. But Darren Chico fought, and M. Billy was the guy that he fought. And look at this beautiful display. Here's why I ask, when are you guys going to realize, when I'm talking about building your personal brand when you're a fighter, the importance of building it? Because when you look at this guy, everything's riding on this fight. All you're thinking about is training, right? So the fighter goes to the gym every single day. He's boom, boom, boom. Everything's good. He's in optimal shape. But we all know what happens when you're in perfect shape. That means you've plateaued. That means you've reached your pinnacle. Anything you do at that point to push the threshold of that scenario, your body, your physical, it can push you over the top. And here he goes, fighting with all of the skill in the world. And Derevyanchenko is my favorite Gotti Ward fighter. Blood and guts. It has not been someone that viciously violent and skilled at the same time since Carmen Basilio. And Carmen beat the greatest of all time, Sugar Ray Robinson. If you found this show informative and you want to see another clip, click right here. Now, if you want to see this show in its entirety, click right here, and I'll see you soon. Either way, follow for more. So long.
Hey, I said, where my money, man?